Ike Neliaku once again on stage. And also please join us on stage as President of Public Relations Society of Kenya and African Public Relations Association, Ike Neliaku.
What's up, everybody? It's the last session of the day. Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora. Whoop, whoop. Dr. Ike. Okay, can everybody stand up just for a moment, please? Okay, hands up, baby, hands Thanks, everybody, and thank you so much for being so patient. It's been a heck of a day. Big shout out to Pahumas and to Boy and to everybody here, including you, who's making this thing a success today. So it is my honour, my absolute honour, to invite our African brothers from Kenya and Nigeria to talk to us today. But what I'd like to do, because we didn't have an opportunity before, is to do a quick introduction to each of them. Then they're going to chat to us, and then we'll see if we've got any questions. Is that okay? Is that okay? One more time, is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much. So what I'd like to do is do a quick introduction to Dr. Ike Neliaku, who is fabulously splendid in his whites at the end. So he is a resourceful professional public relations practitioner, and he's a marketplace entrepreneur. And he has been in the business of business for over 30 years. He is currently the 15th president and the chairman of the governing council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Hand up for the Nigerian Public Relations. Now, he has a very impressive CV, but it's fair to say that he has worked at the highest levels in government for over 20 years with many ministers. But I suppose what I'd really like to point out that he is a fellow of many institutes. Now, what that means is he put the time and the service and the dedication and has been recognised, and I'm just going to read them. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of PR, the African PR Association, the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, the Institute of Management Consultants, and the Institute of Entrepreneurs, the Association of Nigerian Authors, and he's a life member Society for International Development in Italy. So this is a man who does business. He's a man to learn from. He's travelled to over 45 countries and he's served on numerous boards. But more importantly, today he is going to share his experiences on global collaboration.
Thank you. May I have my slides, please? Okay, thank you very much. I have been asked to speak briefly on collective expertise for global... Oh, okay. Is this working? Can I use it? Okay, excellent. Okay. We'll take a little journey. First is to look at the idea of collective expertise for global collaboration. And the summary of what you have here is, what does this mean to us? There are 5 core elements I want us to take note of. First is that collective expertise will help us to build and take advantage of diverse skills with shared abilities and resources. It will guarantee wider knowledge and access to information. It will create better sensitivity to the environment. Yesterday, one of the speakers talked about being sensitive to the environment, the nature of the people, and so on. And then the fourth one is that it gives you clearer insights into the culture and actually the cultures of those that are in the room, because one person may not know it all, but when it is an expertise that is built on collaboration, you take advantage. But the fifth one is most significant for me, and that is a combination of effective, responsible, and compassionate communication. One reverend gentleman in Nigeria says that it is no longer the correct thing to say that everything rises and falls, which is the thesis of John Maxwell. And he says that for him, everything rises and falls on effective communication. And what this simply means is that you could be an excellent leader, but if you are not able to communicate your leadership, you will have challenge. And some of our leaders are having challenges because they are unable to communicate and reach out to the people. And because of that, the citizens do not know what they are doing. So effective communication becomes very essential. So why do we have to collaborate? Why is it so key? I will read this one because it's very important to me. And we say collaborative knowledge is extremely important in today's globalized society, with several concerns that we have about food security, human insecurity, health crises, climate change, technology disruptions, terrorism. Staying atop these things as a communicator, as a public relations person, will certainly be an uphill task, except you have those who are experts in different fields, that you will now take advantage of all that to have a whole. So these challenges that we are talking about transcend borders, they cross boundaries, and they jump over fences to cause havoc for humanity. This is why we need to find solutions that draw on wider knowledge, expanded expertise, deeper skills, more resources that can be used to do much more. There are 4 key attributes and skills that I believe will help to promote what I call sustainable global collaboration. First is reputation. Take out reputation from anything, there will be nothing left. Because I believe that reputation is a core asset of inestimable value. You cannot imagine what reputation could be when it is in the red. So for me, and for those who know and understand the value of reputation, reputation becomes a core asset that will help as a major attribute in driving collaboration across any place. If there is no character, there will not be trust. If there is no trust, there cannot be collaboration. So this is very essential. Number 2, ethical standards. I won't emphasize this because it's been one of the issues we have discussed here since yesterday. We must be strong on ethic so that that trust element can be strengthened. And then number 3, trends and innovation for relevance. Staying ahead of emerging trends with innovative agility that the society requires today, both for the industry and even in the larger places where we work, is essential for maintaining the expertise that will guarantee sustained relevance in the collaboration sector. And then cross-cultural intelligence. We must acquire solid intelligence that we cut across culture. It is not enough to know what happens in my country. I must be able to know what's going on in Kenya. I must be able to know what is going on in New Zealand. I must identify with India. Today I'm in Indonesia. I shouldn't just come to Indonesia and walk home. I should try to learn a few things about Indonesia. This is very important because who knows, tomorrow it might be that my partner, my collaborator, might be from Indonesia, and I will have a fair understanding of what happens here. And then we have one case study I want us to look at. COVID-19. COVID-19 was massively dealt with because of a combination of expertise and global collaboration. We had about 6 stakeholders that played key roles: scientists, governments, healthcare workers, communication experts, donor organizations, and pharmaceutical organizations. And what did they do? They developed vaccines, they distributed medical supplies, and then they communicated the issues of COVID. At some point, you would have observed that the communication was as if it was being polarized, as Professor Jude told us yesterday. At some point, it was as if there was polarization. Some were saying, go and take the vaccines. Some were saying, don't go and take the vaccines, and so on. But the bottom line is that communication played an essential role. But you see, all this could not have been achieved if experts did not come together and then collaborate. So what does this mean for us in the industry as public relations practitioners? It will simply mean that the future of public relations is in deepening expertise, promoting professionalism, and strengthening collaboration. I see a situation where my expertise might be just in one aspect of public relations. It could be in the area of stakeholder engagement. Somebody else may be an expert in government relations. Another person may be an expert in media management, such that when I have a big campaign, I bring the expert in media relations. I bring the expert in stakeholder engagement. All of us will come to the table and give the best to the client, to our world, to our society. Number 3, it was Simon Mainwaring that said, effectively, change is almost impossible without industry-wide collaboration, cooperation, and consensus. Finally, in the end, and I'm very serious, in the end, all professions shall cease except public relations. And why do I say so? For those of you that want to go to heaven, you would observe that in heaven there are no doctors. Doctors expire on earth. Lawyers expire on earth. Engineers expire on earth. In heaven, public relations is the only function that will continue to be practiced, because we are relating. Right from the day a child is born, he is communicating. If that child does not cry, they will say something is wrong. That is communication. And when somebody dies, relations and loved ones will come. Some will cry, some will tell stories. That is communication. So you see, our profession is one that nobody can equal. It is the best in the world. I'm not praying for anybody to die, but those that have died told me somehow that they are practicing public relations in heaven. Thank you very much.
What a wonderful challenge you've been